What's happening, everybody? My name is Mr. Info 5000. Today, we're going to be talking about the indictment of 45. President Trump, Uncle Trump, Orange Man, as they call him. So you mean to tell me they're going to indict this man on charges about documents, classified, unclassified, whatever they are? When you have a current president and they have the paperwork and they have recordings that he was taking payments from foreign nationals, which you can't indict or prosecute or do anything like that with a sitting president. I do understand that. And then you have his son involved in the deal, saying things like, make sure we give 10% to the big guy. Wonder who the big guy is. Could that be a current president? Could that be a man who has been in government in one way or the other for the past freaking 50 years? You're going to indict the best president that we've had in office in my lifetime? I'd probably say him. I was a lot younger when Ronald Reagan was in office, and I really wasn't paying attention to politics like that. But from what I hear people talk about Ronald Reagan, he was either on the same level as Trump as far as presidency or a close second. And you mean to tell me you're going to indict this man on these charges when your current president, which was when he was a vice president, has classified or unclassified documents, when just sitting in his garage somewhere in Delaware by his Corvette? And he didn't have the authority to have those documents at all. He had documents in Chinatown and spread all over the place. And then we're going to go to Hillary Clinton, where she had a server in her home that had classified documents on it, destroyed the server. The government didn't know about it, by the way, while she was in office. The government didn't know about it. Once it was found out, the server was smashed, and any cell phones that pulled up those documents were smashed, bleach poured all on them. And they know all this. And she hasn't been they thought about, they say they did an investigation, but they saw no reason to bring charges. But you want to bring charges against this man. First thing that jumps out to me is, why are y'all going after this man so hard? Once I asked that question, and once I've been researching and doing what I've been doing, I'm on board with Uncle Trump even more. Because he's not a politician. He's not like y'all. And I think y'all more scared than you were, because when he gets in office, he's going to be a lame duck president. And that means when he gets in there the second term, he's not going to care what y'all, the other side. He's not going to care what y'all think, what y'all say. He's going to do what's necessary for this country. Not what's advantageous to China or Ukraine, like what's happening right now. Because they all in your pockets. They paying you all this money. And not to mention that the current administration, with all this transgender and all this pride stuff, don't you know pride is a sin? That's why I think Satan is alive, because they're openly pride everything. Pride is a sin. And then you bring in a trans woman to the White House that pulls his fake breasts out, and that's supposed to be okay. Then you claim you didn't know They're talking about that these things happen at any type of pride event with adults and all this type of stuff. That stuff always happens. Don't sit there and tell me y'all didn't know that these things happen. I think the Biden administration has destroyed this company at a record pace. I'm sorry, not this company, this country at a record pace. And it's being done by design. Now, I do understand the great correction that was supposed to take place after COVID, because they handed out all that money. Well, and now they have to get the money from somewhere. And one thing that I don't know if a lot of people is thinking about this is a powerful statement, and it sounds satanic. When your current president says, anytime he says something that the soul of America, to me, that's pretty powerful. To me, that's deep. And judging by their actions and the policies and their inactions and their no policies and their radical progressiveness, he's getting the soul of America, those that choose not to open their eyes and see what's really going on. And I was in that same boat, but it's kind of like with the tube and the toothpaste. Once the tube is out the toothpaste, you can't push it back in. Once you see something, you can never unsee it. This is satanic. But that's going to be all for today. I'm going to play a quick clip about the best president, Donald Trump, number 45, that we've ever had.
We begin this hour with a Fox News alert. Former President Donald Trump is set to plead not guilty today to 37 charges over his handling of classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. The city of Miami ramping up security as police brace for large protests. Jonathan Siri is live outside of the courthouse in Miami with the latest for us. Jonathan?
Yeah, good morning to you. President Trump is scheduled to appear in a courtroom at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, a little bit ahead of that, the former president is expected to turn himself in voluntarily to federal authorities. He'll be digitally fingerprinted. In other words, no ink. He'll be photographed. However, the photograph will not be released to the public, and at no point will he have to wear handcuffs. Now, as he awaits this process, he's staying at his Doral Golf Resort in Miami. As he arrived yesterday, his motorcade was greeted by a handful of protesters mixed in with a group of supporters. One of those supporters flew all the way from California to be here. At Doral, Mr. Trump has been meeting with his legal team. In a radio interview, he gave a preview of what to expect.
Are you going to make a statement in court tomorrow?
No, I doubt it. I'll just say not guilty. I didn't do anything wrong. Did nothing wrong. Presidential Records Act. It's not even a criminal event. There is no criminality here. It's ridiculous. And these people, look, they're using it. It's election interference. They're using it to get elected.
According to an ABC News Ipsos poll, 47% of American adults believe the charges against Mr. Trump in this case are politically motivated. 37% do not. But the same poll found 48% believe the former president should have been charged with a crime in this case. 35% do not. In anticipation of protests outside the courthouse, additional law enforcement officers have been brought in. Miami city officials say they'll adapt their strategy based on the size of the crowd. They say they're prepared for 5,000. They say they're prepared for 50,000. But either way, they say they expect no major problems. Now, inside this federal court building, the judge has banned reporters and other members of the media from bringing smartphones or any other electronic devices in. Several media organizations had petitioned this judge to allow a small number of cameras to take photographs before this afternoon's hearing. The judge denied that request as well, saying that allowing photographs would undermine the massive security arrangements put in place. Obviously, things very sensitive as this unprecedented hearing is about to take place. Back to you.
Jonathan, what is that noise in the background? It sounds like a rooster.
I am so glad you asked that, Steve. There are chickens just wandering freely. And
In
so what you
Miami?
hear is a rooster that crows on cue whenever Jonathan Seri has a live shot.
Can the cameraman turn around and get a picture of the chicken?
Yeah, could you zoom in to that family of that beautiful family of chickens? We have a rooster, a hen, and I can't see them from here, but just
hang out at the courthouse.
over the grassy knoll, some baby chicks.
What in the world?
Look at that.
Where do they belong?
Hey, John, did you know do roosters do that to wake other people up? Like, do you know why rooster makes that noises? Do you know?
They do that to wake me up. I'm wide awake.
Yeah.
It's working. And clean out your sinuses.
If a rooster is on top of a house, which way would the eggs roll?
Very good point.
Well, if it was a rooster, there would be no eggs.
Roosters don't lay eggs.
That's right.
When I was here over the weekend, some of the chickens were gathering around the Chick-fil-A a block from here, but then I realized it was Sunday. They were safe.
This is another more exclusive details you're only going to get here on the Fox and Friends show. Thank you, Jonathan.
How did we go from a Trump indictment to the roosters and Chick-fil-A jokes?